appear to be live. Okay, well, welcome to episode 2 of the voting guide for the primary in 2002 August, 2022 August primary guide. This episode's not going to be as funny, and it's also going to be way more local because it's District 3. We can take a look at a map on that in a second, but let me send out this link in case people want to watch me. There we go. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to want to do another episode because it gets way more local from here. And I don't know if it's as funny when it's one guy running against no one else. So, I don't know. There just might not be more episodes of this. So if I don't stream again, don't be surprised. So, Washington District map. Alright, here we go. Here's a district map. Thank you, Google. Alright, so I'm in District 3, which is this section here. Pacific, Lewis, Whatcom, Cowlitz, Clark, and Skamana County. Mostly. And then we have parts of Thurston for whatever reason. The capital is County 10. There's County 9, County 1. Kind of curl over the sound weirdly. Seattle part of District 6 or 7? That's unclear. I think it's part of District 6. 7 is the other side. I think Seattle's divided. Man, District 5 is huge. So, I'm going to be reading for District 3. Yeah. So currently the incumbent is Herrera Beutler, who she used to do a lot of campaigning about shooting sea lions. But she did a good job. Last time I was at the beach, there's not a lot of sea lions. Whether or not she did a good job or took credit for it, I don't actually know. But there's less sea lions now than when she used to talk about that. So she switched to talking about sending money out of state to California and Texas, and I don't know. People have feelings about that. But she is the incumbent. She wasn't going to run again, but she is. But let's see who's running against her. So we've got Jaime Herrera Beutler. Again, she's the incumbent. We've got Chris Byrd. Oh, sorry. Again, I should read the parties. Jaime Herrera Beutler is Republican. Chris Byrd prefers none or independent party. Marie Gluesenkamp Perez prefers the Democratic Party. Vicky Kraft prefers the Republican Party. Oliver Black prefers the AM Solidarity Party. I don't know what that is, except AM is not a good thing. I associate it with a horror story that's horror sci-fi, so I'm curious about that one. Heidi St. John prefers Republican Party. Davy Ray prefers Democratic Party. Leslie L. French prefers the Republican Party. And Joe Kent prefers the Republican Party. There is a pretty big sign for him down the road for me, so I'm familiar with his goofy mug. We're probably going to see that picture. But let's start with Herrera Beutler, the incumbent. Speaking of goofy mug, she always looks so sad to me. Anyway, Jaime Herrera Beutler prefers Republican Party. Elected experience working for the Southwest Washington families and small business in Congress since 2010. My focus is on making gas and groceries more affordable for working families, protecting seniors, and fighting against government waste. Washington State House of Representatives, 2007 to 2010. It's weird to put things that she was working towards but didn't achieve in her elected experience. She had achieved some things. As I said, the sea lions. She probably should have put that in there. But I don't know. I guess if you don't go to the beach, you don't know how much of a problem they were. They were pulling kids and dogs off the dock, so like they're called lions for a reason. Anyway, other professional experience. Former senior legislative aide, U.S. House of Representatives. Before that, jobs from nanny to retail at the Vancouver Mall to picking blueberries. I feel like that could have been better written. So whatever. Education, BA, University of Washington, Communications. Community service, advocate for low-income parents and children facing medical complexities, working to prevent and promote treatments for kidney disease, helping veterans, small businesses, and students succeed, supporting members of law enforcement. So I talked about the incumbent for senator, how, there should have been some community service there. You are invited to go to functions and bring your name to events. The incumbent for senator, she didn't write anything. Herrera did write stuff, but I would like to have known. I would have liked her to have listed what groups she had attended. That would be nice. I mean, you can look that up on your own, but this is supposed to be the voting guide. This is something she published, so people could read that information. It would be nice if she gave a... Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's keep going. Statement. Serving Southwest Washington families and communities is my mission. I will listen to you, and I stand up to politicians in both political parties to put our region's needs first. Of Washington's 12 members of Congress, I've been ranked most effective for championing good-paying jobs, lower prices on gas and groceries, and preserving our way of life in this amazing region. Main priorities: worker pay, cost of living. You must not have watched yesterday's Gibby. BA that's better than some people's education. Although the guy with the most education was he was interesting. So the people with the highest level of educations, I would say, in the senator episode, kind of wrote terrible statements. So I think a BA is decent. Anyway, so our region must remain a great and affordable place to live. I've helped pass laws boosting the average family's paychecks by $2,300 and creating thousands of jobs. My yearly jobs fair have secured good-paying employment for countless residents. Apparently she does not hire a proofreader. I've opposed trillions in wasteful spending that contribute to spiked prices, while promoting solutions to get more on our shelves and lower gas prices. Hardworking residents should be able to afford a home, feed their families, and drive to work. That's cool. She sponsors career fairs. Backing law enforcement. I've stood up and opposed dangerous calls to defund the police. With spiking crime and influx of deadly drugs in our neighborhoods, strong law enforcement is more important than ever. I'm leading efforts in Congress to pay, train, and equip local police so that we have enough honorable men and women in law enforcement to serve all of our citizens. Protecting sportsmen, preserving salmon. My legislation to control predatory sea lions. Knew it. It'd be in here. And improve salmon numbers on the Columbia River is now law. I'm securing funds for more hatchery production and habitat restoration. We'll bring back our salmon and steelhead. There we go. Seniors have earned Social Security. I won't vote to cut benefits, and I fought to strengthen this vital trust fund for seniors who depend on it. Nobody will work harder for Southwest Washington than I will. It's an honor to serve you in Congress and ask for your vote. So, not super funny. I mean, it seems funny on the outside that I'm telling you she supports the shooting of lions, but as someone who lives in the area, it was a problem. They damaged a lot, so. Those invasive lions. All right. Congressional District 3, Chris Bird. prefers none or the independent party. Elected experience, none. Other professional experience, current social studies teacher and coach, Tout Lake Junior High School, former school administrator, former mill worker, former hotel maintenance worker, former grounds crew worker. Education, MA in political science, Virginia Tech, BS in history, Eastern Oregon University, Lower Columbia College, James Madison Fellow. Interesting. So that's a religious one, right? Community service, youth sports volunteer, Friends of Fox Creek volunteer. See, that's short and sweet. That's like what I like seeing in community service. It's like you could look up youth sports, you know what that is. He's a coach, you got an idea. Friends of Fox Creek, you could Google that, or DuckDuckGo, as that one guy said. And you could find that right away, and you could see what volunteer work he does. Funny you bring up Lord Buckethead. All of my friends say we need Lord Buckethead to run, but he's not a U.S. resident. He cannot run for this. So he is a resident of the Principality of Space. So statement: my name is Chris Bird, and I'm running as an independent candidate for Washington's 3rd Congressional District. I decided to run for Congress because of the extreme polarization facing our nation. Our current political climate is unhealthy. Unless we change the way we approach politics, I fear the opportunities our generation have may not be there for our children. We can do better. We must do better. We have numerous challenges in front of us, which require us to work together. Partisan gridlock between Democrats and Republicans has not worked in the past, and it's not the answer to moving forward. Continuing on this path will not solve our problems. Something must change. As your independent representative, I will do everything in my power to unite both sides of the political aisle. I will support bipartisan legislation that benefits the people of Southwest Washington. Like you, this is my home. I was born here, I moved back here, I work here, and I hope to retire here. We may not agree on every... Like the salmon. Sorry, salmon is funny and important. We may not agree on every issue, but I generally care about the future of both our country and local communities. As your elected representative, I will be of service to you. Our future depends on us to find a way to move forward together. When our Constitution was created in 1787, someone asked Ben Franklin, while he was outside of Independence Hall, what type of government he helped create. He responded, "A republic if you can keep it. A functioning government requires us to put forth our best effort. I will work as hard as I possibly can for the people of Southwest Washington. I'm excited for the opportunity to step up to the plate and be a representative. Vote independent. Vote Chris Boyd for Congress." Not a lot of platforms. He says he'll do work, but I don't know what work he wants to do. Be helpful. I mean, that's good. There were people running for Senate who promised not to be helpful. So, you know. Alright, Marie, I'm going to say this wrong, Glusenkamp Perez prefers Democratic Party. Underwood Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Supervisors, 1622, elected member, Democratic National Committee. Other professional experience: co-owner, Dean's Car Care, executive director, Stevenson Downtown Association, wholesale flower market manager, Charles Little & Co. I think I know where that is. She's a business lady. Education: BA in Economics, Reed College. Community service: Mount Hood Community College Automotive Program Advisory Committee, Hillsborough High School Automotive Advisory Committee, treasurer for Stevenson Downtown Association. See, that's good community service. Because she was a car dealer, she got approached from a college to give advice, and she put that on the community service. That's stuff you do good to help your community. I like seeing that in my representatives. All right. She's got a long statement, so Our representatives are completely out of touch with those of us struggling to keep up with the rising costs of food, gas, housing, and prescription drugs. As co-owner of an auto repair and machine shop, I now know how tough it's been to navigate this economy. Like so many working Washingtonians, we do our best to stay ahead of bills. But because we cannot afford quality child care of our son, so we take him to work with us. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So she starts general, but then she talks about she can't find childcare for her kid. Um, that's weird. She could have left it general, like other people have trouble getting childcare, but now she can't find childcare for her son. Special interests and party bosses have too much power in Washington and are failing to solve our biggest challenges. I'm running to take on I'm running to take on politicians who are bought and paid for by large corporations who refuse to pay their fair share, while working families who follow the rules fall further behind. I'm not taking a dime of corporate PAC money, and I'll put people over profits. I like to get my hands dirty fixing things, not working the system. I feel like you could have said, I get my hands dirty fixing things like the system because it's dirty, right? I don't know. I feel like she could have spun that better. I'm proud to have created many family wage jobs with my businesses. As our business has grown, like many employees, we struggle to find workers with skills they need to succeed. Like many employers, we struggle to find workers with the skills they need to succeed. In Congress, I'll make expanding career and technical education a priority to empower more Washingtonians to obtain family wage jobs they can be proud of. Finally, I'll stand up to politicians who try to tell women what they can and can't do with their body. We cannot assume our rights will be protected here in Washington State any longer. It is up to all of us to fight for reproductive freedom. Endorsements. And then she's got a list of people who endorse her. Senator Maria Cantwell, Congresswoman Susan DelBene, Washington State Labor Council Lands Commissioner Hillary Franz, Abu 48, former U.S. Congressman Brian Baird, and Don Bonker, State Representative Sharon Wiley, Vancouver Port Commissioner Don Orange. That's a lot of endorsements, if that's to be believed. Again, it says here, candidates submit their own statements, and they were not verified for truth or fact. So it'd be something to look at. She's got that many endorsements. That's kind of cool. Yeah. All right, Vicky Kraft. Ooh, she also looks very sad to me. Like, why are you taking this picture? Elected experience. Oh, sorry, she prefers the Republican Party. Elected experience. Washington State Representative, 17th Legislative District since 2017. Okay. District map. Let's look at where she's been living. District 17. We don't have a District 17. 17th Legislative District. Okay, let's try to find that. Washington 17th Legislative District. Apparently we got one. Right here. That's right above Vancouver. Okay. One of 49 districts in Washington State. Oh, we have 49. For state legislature. Oh, she wants to be federal. She was state before. Got it. Okay. If I read the state ones, I'll do that. Yeah, she was going to drop out from what I recall, but she ended up not dropping out because she's going to support a different Republican and drop out and support him. But then she found out, and this is published in the newspaper, so complain with the Chronicle if the story is wrong, but he voted for Bernie Sanders at one point, so he wasn't a good enough Republican, so she's running against him. Despite the fact that our incumbent is a Republican, who didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. It's confusing. All right, Washington State Representative, 17th Legislative District. All right, since 2017. That's 4 years. That's a term, right? Or 5 years. Sorry. Other professional experience: 20 years private sector business experience. Accountant executive for Dell, Pillsbury Frigidaire, small business owner providing grant writing for nonprofits. Worked with We Care America, nonprofit that works with the U.S. faith-based on community initiatives office. She could put that in community service, but okay. Education, graduate Michigan State University, BA in advertising. Community service, Clark County Veterans Assistance Center, Boys and Girls Club. Evergreen Bible Church. My roots are in Washington. My dad came to Fort Lewis in the Army, and my mom is from Yakima Valley. I moved to Vancouver in 2007 and live in this community with my husband, Paul. I don't know how husband Paul feels about being included in your community service, but okay. Huh. With your community service contains your husband, Paul. Gotcha. Cool. Statement: the people of Southwest Washington deserve a U.S. representative who is proven experienced, conservative leader fighting for the people with a voting record to back it up. As state representative, I've kept my promises to the people. I've never caved into special interest or party leadership, and I never will. That's why I'm running now to represent the 3rd Congressional District. I was honored again to receive the Conservative Excellence Award for my conservative legislation voting record from the National CPAC Conference, Conservative Political Action Conference. Thank you for spelling out an acronym. Not many people do that. Host. Oh, the host gave it to her. The American Conservative Union Foundation. According to the recent scores, I have the most conservative voting record in the House of Representatives. So you can get an award for just voting conservative. That's cool. I've continually fought for your First and Second Amendment constitutional rights. My first bill passed helped disabled veterans. I sponsored legislation to reform governor emergency powers, protect your rights to refuse vaccine mandates, and introduce Washington's most comprehensive election integrity bill. Continuously, I've worked for limited, accountable government, a strong economy that promotes our American free market, small business, farms, timber, and growth. We need a balanced budget. Getting America's supply chain moving will lower inflation and prices. We must reduce I-5 traffic congestion for commuters and freight with no light rail or tolls. Okay, so she's also against trains. Cool. Closing our southern border will stop the flow of criminals, drugs, and sex trafficking. What the fuck is wrong with her that she hates Oregon that much? Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to editorialize, but Oregon's not that bad, okay? Alright, anyway. Closing our southern border with Oregon will stop the flow of criminals, drugs, and sex trafficking. America must operate in strength and sovereignty, including a strong military to protect our nation's citizens and freedom. As the leading legislator fighting to protect parents' rights and children's from comprehensive sex education, I introduced school choice legislation. I've always been pro-life and co-sponsored legislation to protect unborn babies. Our nation is at a critical crossroads. Together we can get America back on track and see Southwest Washington thrive for you, your family, and your future. Ask for your vote. Again, Gibby, you didn't listen yesterday. There was one guy who was very anti-trains. As someone who drives on I-5, it's not that bad. And I don't know how light rail would ruin the I-5. They don't actually put a train track in the freeway. The train track is through Seattle, which I-5 doesn't. I mean, it goes through, but the track is below it, isn't it? Okay, well, because there's a subway through Seattle. All right. Well, anyway, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't live in Seattle. It's weird she wants to demand things of Seattle when she's running for a district that does not include Seattle. But, whatever. You vote for her if you want. All right, here's Oliver Black. He prefers the AM Solidarity Party. Oh boy, I hope it's AM, the robot who hates humanity. But I don't know if it's... Elective experience. No information submitted. Other professional experience. I've been a teacher for 9 years. I currently teach high school history and civics. Education. BA in Bible and Theology. Master of Education in Teaching and Learning. Community service. No information submitted. Statement. As our politics get increasingly divisive, we need a third option that goes away from the partisan bickering. I will be a voice in Congress that reflects the values of working people. To learn more about the American Solidarity Party, go to solidarityparty.org. Dang. I was hoping it was Am, the robot who hates humanity. Alright, well, let's just go see what their platform is real quick. Life, Justice, Peace, Planet. The ASP offers something different. Instead of insecurity, dignified work. Instead of consumerism, citizenship. Instead of isolation, community. Instead of hate, solidarity. For this policy, we means to for policy, this means we build an economy centered on the needs of healthy families and neighborhoods, not big corporations or faraway bureaucracies. It means we reform zoning, land use, infrastructure, immigration, voting rights, and police. It means we end the death penalty, euthanasia, torture, abortion, and forever wards. It means we ensure everyone has access to clean water and air, healthcare, housing, and a dignified way to earn a living. Both parties have failed us. It's time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Okay, and this is the map where they're trying to get in. Stop telling me I should have killed my daughter. That's an interesting post. New directive. ASP sets new record on Californian recall election. Move forward on immigration. Families belong together. Then curious about that one. Let's see, what is their thing on immigration? Immigration is complex because it wow, it's good to actually see a party that says, yeah, immigration is a complex issue and you can't just say one thing about it. Thus would be foolish to claim the SP or anyone else as a cure-all for the broken system. However, there are solutions that could uphold the dignity of undocumented people while maintaining border security and economic interests. Twofold, protect our citizens and welcome the stranger. We must be prudent in our admission of immigrants out of concern. Okay, so it's the Bible welcome the stranger stuff. Okay, so it is a religious party. That's what I thought. That's interesting. I will read that on my own later. Well, wait a minute. This guy, I'll read his thing. He doesn't say southern border because he hates Oregon like the other lady. He may be talking about immigration with Canada, and the stuff I saw was about not breaking up families, so maybe about stuff about bringing families in, which is a religious. That is in the Bible, is welcoming strangers, so to your land. So interesting. All right. Work ownership. Currently, our economic system only benefits a select few. It needs to be fairer. The key to addressing economic injustice is to restructure our economy so that more employees are able to become worker owners. Worker cooperatives benefit the employees by increasing wages while benefiting the firm by increasing worker engagement. Pro-life for the whole life. I favor policies that support the sanctity of life from contraceptive through natural death. This includes not just restricting abortion, but supporting policies to improve our lives. This includes affordable medical care, food security, affordable housing. supporting refugees and diplomatic solutions, and abolishing the death penalty. So that's cool to see someone say they're pro-life and actually talk about, the aftercare of someone being alive. Justice. Our criminal justice system is fundamentally broken. There are more Americans incarcerated than in any other country per capita. Major reforms are needed to protect the innocent from wrongful incarceration and police violence, while promoting diversion programs to prevent recidivism. Environment. There's no plan B. We are called to be responsible stewards of the earth for future generations. Alternative energy is good for the economy and good for the planet. We need to devote resources towards the development and implementation of renewable energy. At the same time, we must improve conservation, reduce waste, and improve our recycling and compost programs. Democracy. Our government is dominated by major corporate influence and governed by two parties that no longer represent the people. We have to take back our democratic traditions. We need to get big money out of our elections and make our democracy more representative of people's views. That's Oliver Black. Heidi St. John. Okay, so she prefers the Republican Party. She may be the actual one who doesn't like the dude who voted for Bernie Sanders once. I just think it's funny that a major political kerfuffle is that a Republican once voted for a Democrat. It's funny to me. All right. Elected experience, none. Other professional experience, local business owner, best-selling author with 8 books, nationally recognized public speaker, board member of the Home School Legal Defense Association, co-founder of the non-profit Firmly Planted Homeschool Resource Center in Vancouver, owner and voice of Off the Bench podcast, board member of Firmly Planted Family, founder of Mom Strong International. I wasn't going to say it, you can. Education, graduate of Portland Christian High School, attended Multnomah University 88 to 90. Okay. She attended. She did not graduate university. All right. Community service, volunteering, speaking for education, facilitating opportunities to inform parents on education options in Southwest Washington, testified against SB 5395 in 2020, worked to get referendum 90 on the ballot in 2020. All right, let's look at what these are. Comprehensive sexual education implementation. So she is testifying against sex ed. And what is 90? From 90, it's sex ed. Okay. Did it pass? She added it to the ballot. And it passed. Barely, it squeaked by. The Washington Referendum 90, the sex education in public schools measure, was on the ballot in Washington as a veto referendum on November 30th. It was approved and Senate bill was maintained. A vote to approve Referendum 90 supported allowing Senate Bill 5395 to take effect, therefore requiring public schools to provide comprehensive sexual education. A vote to reject the 90 opposed allowing the Senate bill to take effect. Okay, so she spoke out against a bill that they passed and put a referendum to allow people to vote, and the people allowed the bill to go forward, but not by a lot. That's interesting. That's she's she was right that people were really split on their opinion of that. And but that's yeah. Statement: For nearly 20 years, my husband and I have been raising our family in beautiful Southwest Washington. We are blessed that our grandchildren are also being raised here, and we hope that one day they'll want to raise our own families here. Our nation is at a crossroads, and the next election will determine whether or not we'll implement the failed policies of socialism or restore the values that made the United States a beacon of hope and the whole world. Like many of you, I am deeply concerned with the direction our nation is headed under Joe Biden and the Democrats. Most of us know that we are heading in the wrong direction. Soaring inflation, the loss of medical freedom, the disregard for parental authority in our schools, the embracing of socialism, and our increasingly unsustainable debt speak to the fact that we desperately need new leadership. America was built on the simple premise of citizen statement. Going to Washington will represent the interests of the citizens who elected them. I have a lifelong proven record for implementing conservative values, and I believe I am the right voice to represent Southwest Washington at this time in our nation's history. I believe in limited government, which produces the fruit of freedom. As your representative, I will boldly stand and defend the Constitution, including the Second Amendment, our borders, and our right to medical freedom. I will never vote for a piece of legislation without answering two questions. Is it constitutional, and can we afford it? Again, talking about the borders, but like what? She's only in charge of this section in here, the border with Oregon. So I don't know what Oregon do in this election. There was a guy on Socialist. The first guy I read for state was a socialist. But that was state senate. This is a district. So, by working together and with God's help, I believe. Did I read this? I believe in limited government, which produces the fruit of freedom. As your representative, I will boldly stand and defend the Constitution, including the Second Amendment, our borders, and our rights to medical freedom. I will never vote for a piece of legislation without answering two questions. Is it constitutional, and can we afford it? By working together with God's help, I believe our best days are ahead of us. It would be my honor to continue serving the citizens of Southwest Washington by promoting the principles of freedom and limited government on behalf of Washington, D.C. Oh, Davy Ray! Davy Ray, the Democratic Party. Okay, Davy Ray. Smile on that guy. Elected experience. Planning Commission, Stevenson, Washington. Other professional experience. Spent several years in the professional music industry in Nashville, having worked in the aviation aeronautics industry since moving out west. Former music instructor at University of Washington. Interesting writing style. Education, music business, University of North Alabama. Public policy planning management, University of Oregon. Pilot, Lane Community College Flight School. Community service, several hundred hours on trail crews. Hiked the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail. Secured grants for community service projects. Nice. I like seeing community service that the person enjoys doing. No, he's going to try to sell you a private airplane, Gibby. Statement. People often ask why I am running for the seat. My immediate response is because I have grandchildren. But the deeper meaning behind that is I'm alarmed in the direction our nation and the world has taken. It has turned away from reality, and let's be real about it. There's only one party for that, and I want to unseat it. This isn't my grandfather's Republican Party. In fact, I barely recognize it. I cannot leave my grandchildren in this country in the shape it has become. I'm compelled to do something about it, and I believe it's time we do something different. Then people ask if I'm a progressive. Well, kinda. I think of myself as more of a moderate. I was raised in Alabama, but I have been on the left coast for 20 years. I welcome everyone to look at my website and Facebook page, Davy Ray for Congress. Oh, yeah. Website. We are going to look at that Facebook page. That's something we're going to do. To get an idea of where I stand on particular issues, I have a number of things I'd like to pursue for best interests in the third. I sincerely hope you'll consider me to represent you in Washington, D.C. It all comes down to this. I want to represent the citizens of Law 3 not for money or notoriety. I'm in it because it's the right thing to do. And because I have grandchildren. So let's see. Facebook. Davy Ray for Congress, Facebook. That's what he wanted us to look at. Oh, okay. He's got that picture there too. Roe v. Wade. This really pisses me off. For the record, I've been personally pro-life since my oldest granddaughter was born, largely because I can't imagine a world with my grandkids in it. That being said, I believe women's reproductive decisions and bodily autonomy are no one else's business except her doctor, her God, and if applicable, her partner. Conservatives have been trying to dismantle Roe since 73 with a death of 1,000 cuts, and now it's been done in overnight by an illegitimately appointed Supreme Court. So he goes on, so you can find out his stuff. So abortion, guns, global economy impacts, holidays. Well, it's interesting he put two big stances right up top. So I don't know. I like his Facebook better than the other guy, which was just memes. This is he put actually his stances there if you want to find more. So yeah. All right, let's take a look at photos. I don't know where that is. Okay. A bunch of Christmas stuff. National Sweater Day. Is he just like always standing at an angle? It's like he's always standing at that angle. Okay, this is bizarre. I need to find a picture of him where he's not standing at an angle. Okay, there. He's not standing at the angle here. There we go. All right, Leslie L. French prefers the Republican Party. I don't know about this guy. I thought there weren't any more Republican candidates, but apparently there are. Candidate elected experience. FLCIO local 3922 Executive Council Board Director National Association Trade Exchanges. I don't know what that means. I would have liked that to be spelled out for me. Other professional experience. Owner Believe LLC, President Rose County Gymnast Academy, Executive Director John Doe's Anonymous Foundation, Presidential Chairman National Association Trade Exchanges, President William Bradford Financial Services, Executive Director, Intercity Network Association, Vice President International Trade, ITEX Corp. Okay. Education, Concord Law School, JD, Portland State University, BSBA, Portland CC, Texas Eastern University, Kilgore College, Ambassador College, United States Military Academy, Morley Stanwood High School, Central Florida Christian School. Community service through JDAF. I supported pro bono and donor funded defense of free speech, raised over $2 million for Special Olympics and $200,000 for Just Say No Foundation. So, that's cool. Statement. With over 50 years experience in business, legislative participation, and public service, I have fought to protect free speech and America's conservative interests. I'll protect your constitutional rights in Congress and will defend your freedom. Candidates speak in abundance with cheap words, but accomplishing political promise requires courage and determination. America first. I have first-hand experience in negotiating international trade contracts. I oppose law or trade rules which place our American workers and businesses at a disadvantage. I shall support American small business and promise to protect against monopolies and globalists. I oppose bills which place essential American products such as medicine, food, steel, energy, fuel, and manufacturing at risk. I support our trade and public service unions because they make a fundamental contribution to America product quality, productivity, and worker security. Social and cultural policies such as school choice and curriculum are the prerogative of parents, not unions or the DOJ. Why would the Department of Justice be involved in school choice? Unless he is for segregation? Interesting. I don't know what that means. I support higher pay and improved training for police. I will vote no to create or intervene in foreign wars unless America's interests are first and priority. Defend our freedom. Election fraud is rampant and is a threat to voter rights. Congress has a role to ensure that fraudulent ballots are not counted in federal elections and that ballots are only submitted by legal citizen voters. International cartels cannot have access to voting machines. Do we have voting machines in Washington State? I don't think we have voting machines. I'll commit to defend the southern border against illegal invasion, drug importation, and human trafficking. Again, human trafficking from Oregon. What do these people have against Oregon? Like, if you're fighting human trafficking, that's not our southern border. That's our western border that comes in through shipping in Seattle or Portland. Well, okay, so that is Oregon. But, like, shipping containers full of people, like, that's what they do human trafficking with. That's overseas. That's not the southern border. That's not from Oregon. Yeah. I support gun ownership and the rights of parents to protect children in schools against criminals. Green energy legislation is largely a sham intended to retard American productivity and transfer wealth to globalists, and I will fight it. I'll protect the environment, not the Chinese Communist Party. I'm going to editorialize some more. I know plenty of people like living off-grid around here, and part of that off-grid means off the power grid because you don't want to be attached to rely on anyone. So green energy is part of independence. You know, solar panels. Plenty of people have their own home hydro here. Gonna be against those people. All right, but I wanted to look up. Are there voting machines in Washington? Voting machines, law state. Voting systems by county. Voting system, clear vote 22. Vendor name, vendor address, name, telephone. DRE, optical scan, etc. Clear vote is an optical scan system with ballot marking device. Every voter ends the process with a paper ballot. Okay, so this is a machine that prints out a paper ballot. It runs on Linux and allows for server client architecture. So we do have voting machines. Alright. We got some Dominion ones too. Okay, in use, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, yes. We do use Democracy Suite 5.5. Not in use, not in use. Here we go. Where do we use it? Vendor address, name and telephone. Type of system, optical scan, is a paper-based optical scan system including precinct, central count, and ballot marking components. Additionally, the system includes an electronic management system What functions do you want to certify in Washington State? Would like to certify the ImageCast Central high-speed ballot scanning products. So it's just it's a scanning system. It's also certified in Ohio. Split precincts. Okay. We also got ES&S voting machines and some from Hart InterCivic. Alright, well, there you go. So there's the certification for those voting machines. I don't know if there's a problem with them. Alright, well, Beltpedia. Term electoral system. Oh, it's just about our electoral system. Alright. Well, I don't know. Anyway, here's our last one, Joe Kent. And again, I don't know if I'm going to stream again. I don't know if the other stuff is entertaining. So, it's also hyper local after this. So, yeah. I am not. Sorry. Joe Kent is a Republican Party. He prefers. I am not a career politician. I am a warrior for 20 years. I fought for our nation in the most challenging conditions as a Green Beret and led our troops into battle. Other professional experience. I currently work as a project manager for a small tech company before joining the Army. I was a Boy Scout, summer camp instructor, a lifeguard, and mowed lawns. I would like to know how long he was a Green Beret. That'd be good information to have. Or what years he served. Okay. Education, Norwich University BS Strategic Studies and Defense Analysis, U.S. U.S. Army Special Forces Qualification Course, Eagle Scout. Community service, I deliver meals to veterans in need and volunteer at my church. Finally, someone talks about volunteering at the church again. Yeah, so many church people don't actually go to church, I get the feeling, you know? I've trained and provided security services to churches and synagogues. I'm not say I don't want to say my religious affiliation, but I find it weird when people say in the statement, "Oh, they go to church or whatever," but that's not part of their community service. They don't help their church at all. That's weird to me when that happens. That's a disconnect. And he helps at synagogues, so that's cool. I served for over 20 years in our nation's special forces as a foreign policy advisor to President Trump. I'm endorsed by President Trump, Lauren Culp, Lars Larson, and General Michael Flynn. Lars Larson is a fake name if I ever heard of it. No, I'm kidding. He's a real person. My priorities are fighting inflation by ending wasteful omnibus spending and restoring energy independence, investigating the 2020 general election integrity laws, and impeaching Biden and Harris immediately, standing up for the right to life and the Second Amendment. That's weird to have those two things in one statement, but okay. Securing our border and ending illegal immigration, and enacting an American First economic agenda that will restore our local manufacturing and timber industries and creating good paying jobs. Again, the only border district he touches is Oregon. So, weird. Like many of you, I voted for Jaime Herrera Beutler before, but her betrayal of our conservative values has compelled me to run against her. She voted with the Democrats to impeach President Trump, halt construction of the border wall, and give $1.5 billion in taxpayer dollars to Planned Parenthood, and enact red flag laws to take away Second Amendment rights. Ooh. So he wants wife beaters to have more guns. That's a cool. I'm against this dude. Like I haven't told you not to vote for people before, Dude, I don't like wife beaters. So, no to this guy. No. Here in this district, she's done nothing while mills, factories, and veteran clinics are shut down, and she's failed to address the I-5 bridge project and the sea lion problem that is devastating our our fish stocks. Ah, she failed the sea lion problem. I thought it was getting better. I'll have to look that up. Inflation is robbing our families of 9% of their take-home pay. Jamie caused that by voting for Biden's trillions in omnibus spending and most likely to send 53 billion of your money to Ukraine. Yeah, that's right. Joe Biden caused global inflation, guys. I guess that makes sense to them because they believe he controls the world. So, yeah, no. Inflation's global, kids at home. It's not just the United States. I have been personally affected by Jamie's eagerness to keep U.S. troops in unnecessary foreign conflicts. My wife, Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Kent, was killed by a terrorist in Syria 1 month after President Trump tried to withdraw troops from that conflict. Jamie voted to block that withdrawal. Unlike Jamie, I will always put America and Americans first, and I'll be honored to have your vote. Isn't that where it was known by the president that Russian soldiers were shooting our troops? Yeah. Well, anyway, he's sad his wife is dead. Gotta put your dead wife at the bottom of that. If you want to be the Punisher, you gotta put your dead wife at the front. I'm sorry. All right. Well, anyway. Red flag laws. Screw you. Alright, well. I'll vote for somebody else, I'm sure. Pettiest officer. That's not nice to do. His wife is dead, probably. Again, state does not make corrections or verify statements are truth or fact. Which I'm going to look up the Sea Lions, Washington State. And let's see. California Sea Lion, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. If you see the species, report them. Population, the U.S. population of California sea lions is currently estimated at 300,000 animals, all on the Pacific coast. From an estimated population of 10,000 animals in the 50s, U.S. California sea lions have grown rapidly since the 70s, and the species is now at a carrying capacity near the highest level the environment can sustain, according to wildlife biologists. Population survey conducted in '06 by the Department of Fish and Wildlife documented 1,200 sea lions and 1,000 Steller sea lions near the mouth of the Columbia River alone. All right, I guess they're not under control anymore. Hundreds of them killed. Approval to kill 716 sea lions in 2020. But what have they done here lately? I don't know. I don't know. Again, last time I was at the beach, sea lions were all gone. So I don't know. I didn't know it's still a problem. But I guess maybe it still is. But you're supposed to report if you see them. So I don't know. Just conservation. Species identified as a priority species. Priority species require protective measures for their survival due to their population status, sensitivity to habitat alteration, and or recreational, commercial, and tribal importance. Oh, they're protected? I thought they were invasive. I don't know. Not sure how that's handled. Oh, you don't know what a sea lion is? Alright. Sea lions. Let's add Washington. Let's see if we can find it in Washington. Alright, so this is a sea lion. This is from Rebel headquarters. But yeah, those are sea lions. I don't know, it's weird. I thought there was too many of them. So they'll pull kids and dogs off docks and eat them. They'll also sink docks because they'll all cluster over a dock. So here's Westport.
How you doing?
They'll rip up your crab pots, and because they're intelligent, when you're crab fishing, if you get a crab that's too small, you're supposed to throw it back, right? So or a female, so they repopulate. But the sea lions just wait for you to throw it back in the water, and then they eat that crab that's supposed to repopulate. It's awesome that they're horrible monsters, or what? This is Fox 13 Seattle talking about permission to kill sea lions. So here, this can sink a dock. Do you see how many of them there were on that dock? They're big and they're mean. Yeah, go ahead, go to the docks. Weren't there some when you came to Westport? I could have sworn you would have seen some when we went to Westport. And then we've got a native seal. They're much cuter than the sea lions. Trump attacks Secret Service. That's not what I want to see. Native Washington seals. So here are the harbor seals. These are the local. These are the smaller ones, I believe. Build better docks. Do you see how fat these animals are? They'll sink any dock. They'll mess up your boats and stuff. What kind of seals are in Washington? Harbor seal. Seals and sea lion haul out sites in Washington. Atlas of seals and sea lions. Harbor seal, code species PV. Stocky seal. Harbor seal is most common, widely distributed in Washington waters. Harbor seal is the only pinniped species which is found year-round and breeds in Washington waters. California sea lion. It's most frequently seen and uses haul-out sites, blah, blah, blah. Only male California sea lions migrate into the northwest waters, with females remaining in waters near the breeding rookeries in California and Mexico. The species was considered rare in Washington prior to the 50s. Today, peak numbers are 3,000 to 5,000 animals move into the northwest waters during the fall and remain until late spring, when most return to breeding rookeries in California and Mexico. The peak counts of over 1,000 animals have been made in South Puget Sound in years. All age classes of males are present in Washington water, with animals ranging from size 200 to 1,000 pounds. Coloration of males usually dark and chocolate colored, blah blah blah. Vocalizations. Stellar sea lion. Here's the other one. Northern elephant seal. I have not seen these ones around here. But there you go. Those are the seals in Washington. Is it legal to hunt sea lions, Washington? It is now legal to kill sea lions threatening the salmon in Northwest. So, yeah. Animal control in western United States just got more extreme. New laws allow some Native American tribes to kill sea lions and devouring endangered salmon and steelhead, as long as they first get a permit. It was signed by Trump. Issue permits the Nez Perce tribe to hunt them. But it's not free for all. The law specifies the mammals must be killed humanely and with a permit. It also must be suspected in 5 years if salmon and steelhead population no longer need the extreme protections. Up to 1,000 sea lions each year can be removed. So they gave it to the tribe to do. They help sustain the ecosystem by bringing nutrients back to the rivers. Oh, that's about the salmon. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so, yes, it's possible. There we go. Why are seals so endangered? Hunting with human greed, populations of seals have declined during the past. Millions of seals were, for their invaluable lie, killed for their valuable meat, blubber, and pelts. Alright, well. Why are the seals in Seattle? Blah, blah. Okay, well. Seal is not extinct, but estimated. How are seals hunted? Clubs. Why are harbor seals dying? As a result of humans interacting with them. Animal-eating diseases, parasites, and drugs associated with diarrhea led to mortality of harbor seals. I am worried about harbor seals. Harbor seals are endangered. Is it legal to hunt sea lions? Can you shoot sea lions? Can you pet harbor seals? No, don't! They're sick. You give them diseases. Alright. Well, that's it. Pelt. Yeah, you want their pelts. Because they have... a seal pelt is waterproof. Yeah. You saw the video of seals. Did you not realize that was hair? Sea lions. Yeah, they're hairy. That's fur. They're not a whale. That's hair. That's fur. They're always wet, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, it's a waterproof coating of hair. So you can really see his hair right there. Sea lion fur. Here's a baby puppy. They're born like that. That's a dry one. That's what they look like when they're drying babies. But don't pet it because they get sick from your gross human diseases. We just read that. And that's why they all gather up on docks, because they sun themselves to dry out their pelts. They are so big and fat. And important to the ecology. Yeah, I guess you don't live near the ocean. Seals are a thing when you live near the ocean. Um, you don't mess with them because they'll pull you off a dock and eat you if they want. They get bigger than this. This is the big one. I'll link this video to you directly. This is what's called the leopard seal. He is making dinosaur noises. I'm not sharing my audio from my desktop, so you probably can't hear that, but... Leopard seals are big. Alright, can we get a comparison of, well... I want someone next to one so we can see how big they are. Alright, well, I'm ending the stream here. You have a good one. Alright, see ya. How do I end this? I don't even know how to end this. How do I end stream? Where's my button for that?